What's up, guys? This is Sammy Geek back here. Today's video is going to be on the Twraps wheel wrap for the 21-inch wheel for the Rivian R1T. What I'm going to do is actually kind of go step through step with you guys and show you how I specifically put these wraps onto my wheels. I might use a little different process than most just because I'm a little more picky to make sure that they do stay on. So watch the video. You guys will watch and learn a little bit if you're not familiar with how to wrap the wheels. I'm going to walk through the process with you here, and I'm going to show you the amazing transformation that these wraps have done to the wheel. It completely changed the truck. So stick with me and we will go through that. So first things first, I've already taken everything out of the box and I've already done a couple wheels as a little bit of practice. So what I want to start off doing is just show you guys a little something here. So I've reused these several times. So for example, one of these double-sided sticky, I guess, placers, for lack of a better term, I've used probably one of these on two wheels. So you don't get one for every single wheel, but they do send you several, and you will not need a ton of these. So just for the sake of demonstration, if this is your first wheel and your first time doing this, what you're going to do is peel this off, and you're going to end up with a sort of sticky back here, and it's going to be in the shape of like a T. And then what you're going to do is you're going to grab one of your wheel wraps here, and in my case I went with the graphite, and you're simply just going to lay it onto the sticky and just kind of gently press it down. And what I've been doing is kind of pressing in the corner a little bit here, and then just kind of lift it up, peel it back, gently peel, and you are all set. So what you'll do is you'll end up placing this on your wheel. Once it's off, just set this aside, out of the dirt, and then you'll come back in and you'll just do the same thing, repeat. And this can be used again. You can use one of these for an entire wheel. So we'll step outside and begin the process. So out in the garage here, we're going to get this process started, and the tools for the job, if you want to do this properly, are going to be a nice microfiber. You're going to want some rubbing alcohol, and if you have a heat gun, grab your heat gun, or you can use a hair dryer as well. We're going to use that to sort of pre-warm the wheel a little bit if you're in a colder climate. And then I've got the squeegee here. This will be, I really didn't use this much, but this will be here on standby in case I need it. So first things first, what I'm gonna do is kind of pre-warm the wheel a little bit here, and we'll just get this thing going. Gun is very, very hot, so I'm just trying to get the really cold, if it's really freezing cold, I want to get that off. So next up, I'm just gonna take some alcohol here, and I'm gonna douse this pretty good, and you'll see for a second here, or in a second. I'm actually gonna clean the entire wheel. So we'll go here and just give it a good wipe. Anything that you can get off, great, but the idea is just to really soak it down, and we're gonna clean off anything that the stickers are gonna stick to. So we've got the wheel entirely prepped here. Now what we're gonna do is line this up. And I just wanna talk through this for a second. So I struggled with the first ones, just trying to exactly find out how to line it up. So what I found is if you kind of go down into this Y and just sort of line it up, giving yourself just a little bit of overage. And then in addition to this, kind of line it up at the bottom. So you'll see it through the transparent tape here, and you're just going to kind of line that up, and then very, very slightly just kind of set it on there, and then follow these and just make sure that these are lining up. Like this one's lining up really nice, and then let's just make sure this guy is, and this one did as well. So you might find that it doesn't line up perfectly the first time. You might see a little bit of silver through there. The first time I did it, I did have a little bit of silver, but if you follow this right here, this pattern, and kind of line it up with a little bit of overage, like I said, a little over here and a little over here, you'll be fine. And then what I typically do is I will just sort of follow my finger along just very, very gently, right in the middle. So we're not gonna do the corners or edges yet, but we are trying to just sort of place it. And then you can pick your battle on where you wanna start. Let's start from the bottom here. So I'm just gonna sort of pull this down, and then this guy will start to peel up. And then the trick here is just do it slow, take your time. Just don't rush this process, and you'll turn out just fine. So once you kind of get this in place, you are just gently pull this off. And you might see in a certain area, you might see a little bit of silver, which, I mean, it's fine because you're getting 90% of the way there. And then remember, take this guy and just kind of set that aside because we're gonna reuse that for the next piece. So now that I've got this placed, I'm just gonna go through, just follow your finger right through the middle of the wrap first, okay? So don't worry about the sides quite yet. And then what I like to do is once I've kind of placed it in the center, I will then take my heat gun and I'll warm it a little bit. And then as I'm pushing this, I'm not gonna go right over the edge like this. I'm just gonna gently start going like this back and forth. And then as I'm doing that, I'm gonna start angling my thumb in towards the wrap. So I'm kind of going back and forth, and then I'm angling, and you'll see me kind of do that here. So we're just gonna give it a little bit of heat here, and you can kind of see it start to shrivel a little bit on the corners. And then again, like I said, I'm kind of angling, and you see how that gets tight. And then again, I'm just angling in and angling in. And again, here, we're just gonna kind of go along. So we're not going down all at once, we're kind of angling in, just cutting it in. And you guys will get the hang of this once you do one or two. So I'm kind of going along here, sweeping the top, and then I'm angling further and further. What I do wanna point out is that you may run across like this. I have a little line down here that, so this one cut in perfect, but there's a little line right here. So I'll show you guys how to fix that. We're just gonna go around this and continue here. And then we're gonna get up in here. So what I like to do is I don't scratch at it downwards, I scratch at it backwards. And so I'll give it a little bit of heat here. So I've got a little line down here. And so what I do is I just hit it with the top of my fingernail. I'm just lightly scraping at it. And I'm gonna hit this one a little bit, hit it a little bit more. Let's warm that. And it's about 95% of the way smoothed out. A little bit of extra heat. So again, there's the back of my fingernail. Don't pick at it like this, like downwards. Just rub the back of your fingernail right on the edge. And you guys will see that that starts to smooth out. So we're gonna get hit with a little heat again. And we're looking pretty good here. So there's another one right up in here. And so the back of my fingernail, I've just smoothed that out. And then I'm gonna seal this deal. So we have one on here. So now what I'm gonna do is this piece is on pretty nice. And so I wanna make sure all of the edges are really down. So I actually have a teeny sliver of silver showing here. I probably could have tried to pull it up a little bit earlier in the process, but it's so high up in the wheel that you're really not gonna be able to see it. So because it's covering 98% of it, it really looks good on the other wheels here. So we're just gonna go through and we're just gonna deal with that. That might be the only mistake on the entire wheel, which is fine with me. And again, you guys might run across that too. You can practice your first couple tries, you might see a little bit of chrome, but 95, or like I said, 98% of it's covered. So it's really, no one's gonna look at them. Take a magnifying glass out and look at your wheel. There's also a way we can fix that later. We can cut a little sliver of an extra piece and then just layer on top the sliver if you really want to get super anal about it. What we're going to do, again, we're going to just hit this with some heat. Use your blow dryer using heat. You don't want to go too hot here. You can see I'm just kind of sweeping it back and forth. I really want this adhesive to stick here.